very much at the centre of our agenda. And we all know that too frequently the groups that you represent and work with can too often be victims of crime. Of course, we don't know enough, do we, about that? We don't know enough about how often they are victims of crime. And so one of the really big messages from today is about, let's report it. Let's make sure that we spread that word very loudly and very clearly and very wide across the county, that we must know about what's going on. We must understand what's going on in our communities. It may be that police can't always immediately leap round and respond to everything that's going on. If it's a serious incident, of course they will. But we need to know about everything, because unless we know what's going on, the police don't stand a chance. So my message to everybody, and I say this so often at the public meetings when I'm out and about, please, please report incidents. Make sure crimes and incidents are reported. Use 101, use 999, use Crime Stoppers. Contact your local police, PCSOs, your neighbourhood constables, let them know what's going on. Really important. If we're going to deal with this, if we're going to deal with all the incidents of hate around the county, we must know about them. So that's really important. Just one or two things. I talked to Phil as I arrived, and Phil, thank you for the support you've given me since I arrived as Police and Crime Commissioner to teach me about this agenda. It wasn't something I knew a lot about, and I've learned first from you, and then coming out to Southend and Thurrock, and elsewhere around the county, learning about this agenda. It's about awareness. We've all got so much to learn. We've all got so much to learn, and me in particular. We want to give everybody the confidence to report. And so, to police colleagues, let's spread the word. Let's really spread the word among our police colleagues that whatever it is that they confront, it may be something that they've never come across before. We were talking about the trans agenda. We might be dealing with people, with residents of Essex who may be quite different to us. We may not know, but let's have the confidence to engage. Let's not be afraid of difference. Let's embrace it and respond as best we can professionally. I was asked the other day what I think I've got wrong this year as police, in my first year as police and crime commissioner. There are two things I hit on. The two things I'd like to have done more about this year. The first is mental health, because I think it's one of the most challenging things that our police colleagues face, is dealing with some of the really extremes of mental health challenges that they face in their ordinary policing. And also making sure we've joined up all the parts of the community where mental health is a challenge, so we can try and stop those who've got mental health challenges becoming victims, and those who can sometimes present as perpetrators as well, so we can learn to do more about that, and I will make a pledge to do better next year in that space. And the other one, it resonates a little bit with some of the things we've been talking about today, is about education. I've gone through some very hard learning this year about how well we're dealing with our young people these days in schools. And probably the best lesson I got on that was when I spent 2 days actually, but one day with the Young Essex Assembly. Those are the sort of youth parliament of Essex. About 50, 60 youngsters, helped by some Essex police officers who helped me, and victim support, talking with youngsters about the education they're getting in schools now, about a whole range of things, but particularly around risk and risky behaviours. And helping me in that was an intern I had working with me this summer, a Bangladeshi woman, a very bright graduate, just graduated from her first degree, just going on to do a master's, take a master's degree. She's Bangladeshi. And talking with her about her experience. And she said that when she was at junior school, up to year 6, it was fine. Younger children embraced difference without even noticing. She'd never felt any issue whatsoever until the day she arrived as year 7 in secondary school. And everything changed. Everything changed. And suddenly, what had been a childhood turned into a very tough adolescence, where difference was certainly not embraced and became a difficult environment. And I think we need all of us to understand and to work particularly at that year 7 and 8 group, where for a whole range of reasons, some of the things you've been talking about today, but other things, we need to work with those children of that age, I think, to help them cope with that adult world of difference and all the risk that goes around young adolescents these days. And cyberbullying just struck such a chord with me. If anyone tells you there isn't cyberbullying or even any sort of bullying in their schools, my experience from my own children and now their children is that bullying goes on everywhere. We all know it, don't we? So let's not kid ourselves. It doesn't go on. Let's tackle it. Let's get stuck straight in. So from one or two of the things you said, training, those great words about training. One of my watchwords is partnership. I'm here to challenge and support Essex Police to be the best they can. But if we're really going to deal with crime and crime prevention, it's all about partnership. So thank you those who sponsored today, from the Essex Safeguarding Board, from Thurrock and Southend Councils. I've got to know you looking around the faces, lots of familiar faces. Thank you for supporting this. So much of these things we must do on a pan-Essex agenda. And you know, if any of us are setting up training of any sort, then think, oh, are there partners we can bring in? Can we bring in someone to do this training with us? The more we do it together rather than separately, the better it will be. The faith groups have got so much to offer, and I see that. I'm involved in that. It's been a privilege for me getting to know the Muslim community, for example, in Harlow, with some of the challenges they face there. The cyberbullying I've already mentioned. Those CEOP resources, by the way, are really good. I've been tweeting about them. I know lots of others of you have been as well. If you haven't looked at the CEOP resources, do look at them. They are excellent. For me, the big bit of learning, and I'm sorry I wasn't here this morning, but about the transport. Thank you those from the transport sector who are here supporting today. I think it's something really important caught up in that. How they can help us. It's a visual representation, isn't it, of the links across Essex, the transport, whether it's the buses, the trains. Let's really think how to use that. And I think there's some real potential in that. So I think on everybody's behalf, could I, as I've already thanked the sponsors, the people who've really put their money where their mouth is, and resources are going to get tight. I think we all know that. In every sense, resources get tight. But the money I've got, I will pledge, I've continued to pledge, that I will find as much money as I possibly can to support these agendas. We found nearly £500,000 to spend extra this year in crime prevention. Much of that money has gone to supporting some of the work that you're doing. I will pledge to keep that money up to community safety partnerships. I will find all the money I can to squeeze into the prevention agenda. It must be much better than dealing with the mess afterwards. So thanks to the sponsors. Thank you to all of you. As Phil mentioned just now, he will be gathering all of the work that you've been doing this afternoon. That output is crucial for setting the agenda for next year. I will, again, pledge utterly, and Phil, make sure you keep me to it, to respond in every way I can to the learning that's come from today's sessions, and I will make sure they're embraced in next year's police and crime plan as we develop it and in the execution of that plan. And thanks to all of you for coming, for putting the effort in. And I think on your behalf, and perhaps I can encourage you to join me in I think Catherine and Phil, who've been very much sorry? And many more, but who've taken the leadership in doing today. Thank you for what you put in. And to all the helpers who've been helping today. Shall we all give them a big round of applause? So thank you very much. So thank you for coming. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please, I'm sure Phil will want to say this, please give us your feedback. I think we should be doing events like this every year, and so we'll look out for the date for the next one. But we should be doing this. Give us your feedback, so let's make sure we can make them just as good as we can. Thank you very much indeed.